Can you hear me, Ralph?
Ah,
Oh, yeah, it's Jazz Station. It's you. Ryan, good morning.
Morning. Hello.
hello.
The jazz music is gone.
What?
The music is gone.
Yeah, I turned it off.
Well, you can turn it back on when the Jamaicans come on, right?
Yeah, later today,
Oh, later. Okay.
11 o'clock
Oh,
or noon, something like that. I don't remember exactly. So I had to get external speakers.
oh,
Yeah, that's what the guy sent me an email the other day saying, I want to try external speakers to see if that fixes your problem. So I ordered some external speakers.
oh.
Did it
So
work?
you haven't got them yet?
Yeah, I got them.
Okay.
So,
So you sound. We can hear you.
well, there's microphones in the camera actually.
Oh, okay. But you're still. We still hear you through the speakers too, right?
Well, I hear you through the speakers
Right.
instead of the
mean-
speakers on the laptop.
Right. No, I understand that, but I mean, I would think we would hear the speakers also.
No,
Okay.
I mean, I hear the speakers.
Yeah.
I gotta move them, but not right now.
Okay.
But yeah, so I can get a lot more volume now with the speakers. So I emailed the guy back. I said, yeah. I said, I got the speakers and I ran a test. You know, I did a test Zoom meeting yesterday. And I said, yeah, that let's see, well, I forget exactly how I worded it. Something like that fixes the issue, but it still doesn't help solve the problem. Well, I mean, think about it. You know, the laptop has speakers built into it, but if you can't get enough volume out of the speakers on the actual laptop, you got to put externals on. And what good is a laptop? You got to carry speakers around with you like a damn boom box.
There you go. Well, that's how you, yeah.
So waiting to see what his reply is. But anyway. So I'm wondering where the other guys went. I thought I saw Daniel a few minutes ago. So what the hell are you eating, David?
Yogurt.
Yogurt?
We.
That's the wrong kind.
It tastes better than the others.
No, you're supposed to be eating frozen yogurt.
Or Greek yogurt. This is French.
As in ice cream.
Oh,
yogurt.
That's at
Good
night.
morning, Ralph, David.
Morning.
Morning, Daniel. Yeah, frozen yogurt.
Right, you're right. No, like I said, that's at night. That's at night.
Cookies and cream.
Uh-huh.
I want to try something here.
Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, Daniel.
always good to hear. Going through some old shirts. Kay found this shirt back in the day. Remember, Brian?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What were they, 5 1/4 inch?
Or 8-inch.
Eight
That's really-
inch? I think I worked with the 5 1/4 is when I started using them. Yep.
5 1/4, single density, low density,
Yeah.
single.
I'll reach it over for you. I can reach it over for you. Which one?
Yeah, I think my first computer had like 2 megabytes of RAM.
Right. Yeah, I remember that. They were, what were they 40 that, which ones came out and they were, there was something wrong with them and they ended up donating them to making a reef in Broward.
Yeah.
Morning all.
Morning. Morning.
Yeah.
Morning.
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 No, because I got to come back in here and feed the cat and everything. I'm just not going to speak, Daniel.
Yeah, but we hear you, Tim.
No, that's because I was in the same room as Daniel. And
Oh,
he's got his phone on. That's why we had the feedback. So I
oh,
thought yeah, he managed to get himself a hangnail, an infected hangnail a week or so ago. So, you know, he had to get minor lopping and chopping on his toe. I told him maybe that would keep him from doing it again.
Actually, Jim, Daniel is muted and you're the one that's got the open mic.
Right. He had it where that's why I'm talking. So I've got it muted now, but it's still being in the same room. For some reason, it was causing that feedback. It might have been something that only I was hearing, but I couldn't be sure.
yep,
No,
we
I
heard
heard
it.
it.
We heard it.
I thought there was something wrong with my bandsaw.
David Sigley, I have some information for you. Soon to come out in the newsletter, there was a change made. There was an executive decision made. And it was stated that dues need to be paid by the end of February. March 1st is when they'll be removed from the emails.
Okay, I was gonna ask that
Yeah.
offline, so that I could put what I will do this after this meeting, probably in the next week or so, is email each member who hasn't paid their dues directly and ask, and advise them that they'll be removed from the roster effective
March 1st.
March 1st.
All right. Yeah, I didn't think about it. We didn't say anything to you. It'd be have you see it, first time seeing it. Are there still about 18 that haven't paid? You don't have to give the exact number. I'm just curious.
Yeah, it's approximately. I'll look it up now.
That's okay. You don't have to.
I know I haven't yet, so I'll get that done.
Ah. There you go. See how we're weeding this out, David?
David, you're a pretty good enforcer. Look at that. You make Jim jump and everything.
Doing this for 4 years, or more. So
And all the years in scouting with Jim and stuff like that, I never seen him jump that quick.
No, it's just one of these things that right now with everything going on, if I don't get it done while I'm thinking about it, it will not reoccur in my mind till I get the notice.
You've been notified.
yeah, you've been served.
That'd be fine.
Or you got some Italian in you or something?
I've gotten to the point where my memory goes and comes about things I need to get done
Oh, I hate it.
or don't do. I got this morning and I was going to change my infusion set, and then I looked on the calendar and realized I have one more day before I have to go through that hassle.
So you gained a day.
Yeah,
Good.
one more day without having to stick a needle in me.
Morning, gentlemen.
I see Gabriel's on. Morning, Gabriel.
Morning.
Morning, all.
Morning, David.
Morning. How y'all doing?
Good.
Good enough. Wide awake and ready for whatever comes.
Whatever happens, huh?
Yep.
Whatever happens.
Oh, Ozzy's here somewhere. So do you get any of that mahogany, David Freundlich?
I'm sorry?
Did you get any of that mahogany?
No, it got gone before I could get over there. Which was a shame. It was some nice big pieces. I need to invest in a new chainsaw.
Ah. Yours quit?
Oh yeah, I bought it in '84 and finally just bit the bullet.
Huh.
And besides that, I'm discovering I need lighter and lighter tools because years ago I would have lifted up one of those logs and thrown it in the truck, but that ain't gonna happen anymore.
Nope. Funny how that happens.
Yep.
I got to switch out the axle on my boat trailer, and I'm waiting for somebody to help me lift it up because it's heavier than I can lift. That's for sure. And yet I changed it out in '96. I changed out that trailer axle, and I did it with a friend, but it was fairly easy. Not anymore.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a couple of years of difference makes a big difference. So,
Yeah, when I tell Kay that something like that, I tell her, I can't lift this, you can't do this. And she says, oh, that's called old age. So that's good to know.
well,
Yeah.
not old age yet. We're not old yet. We're a middle age.
There you go.
It's amazing how 70 has become the new 40.
Mm,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, right around the corner.
I remember talking to somebody who was 70 years old and thinking how old they were. Now it doesn't seem to be that old.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that just real quick, I gotta tell you this. I went to Home Depot a while back. I needed to get some paint mixed. I mixed it up to get some paint mixed, and then I had to get something in the electrical department. So I went to the paint department, a young kid there. So I said, "Could you mix this up?" And he said, "Sure." He said, "It'll take a few minutes." I said, "Well, I'm looking for so and so and so." He says, "Well, look for so and so in the electrical department. He knows all this. He knows his stuff." So I went there and came back. Paint was done. He says, "Well, did you find the guy?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "He was helpful, but you don't have what I need." He said, "Was he an old guy?" I said, "What do you mean by old guy?" He was young to me. And he said, "Well, he's in his 40s." 40s. I said, "Hell, I'm 74. Does that mean I'm old?" He says, "Oh, no, no, no. Old is of 80. So I said, that was a good recovery. Good recovery.
Yeah. Nice
Yeah.
save.
Good save. Yeah, for a younger kid, 40 he looked like being in his 20s, maybe. 40 looked old to him.
Yeah, well, when I was in my 20s, 30 was old.
Ah,
Hey, remember Bob Dylan, don't trust anybody over 30.
That's right.
there you go.
No. Well, I guess this looks like this is about the crew today.
Not even the Dirty Dozen.
No, not quite. I was Tiffany was kind of funny. I guess Thursday, Tiffany sent me a text saying, "Oh, you want me to come by and help you with the demo tomorrow?" And I said, "Well," I said, "tomorrow's Friday, but if you want to come by, feel free to stop by." She says, "Oh, okay." So I thought maybe she was going to pop in, but I guess about, I don't know, 5:30, 6 o'clock, she sent me a text saying, "Oh, plans, change your plans. I'm going on my way to Georgia. See ya." So I don't know what the hell she's going to Georgia for, but that's where she's at this morning. So anyway, so I guess what I'm going to do is a little project that she and I did a couple of weeks ago. She wanted to make one. So this is she calls it a salt box. Everybody calls them salt boxes. That swivel lid box we had discussed earlier.
Are you spotlighted, Ralph?
Not yet. So thank you for reminding me.
No problem. I just noticed that.
So I'm going to do that right now. And boom, there we go.
There we go.
Okay, so I changed my camera angle, as you can see. I had my son gave me a camera mount that kind of clips on places, but clamps onto places. So I figured I'd give it a shot. I've got it obviously over the lathe. And so this is a little swivel lid box with magnetic catches. You can see the magnet right there and right there. And I set this one too deep because I screwed up. I made the opening in the box too deep so that you can see, I can turn this the right way. that the hole for the magnet kind of wallered into the opening of the box. So that's just, I set the magnet a little deep. It doesn't really grab it too much like it should. And, but anyway, so a little piece of Osage orange that I had hanging around from somewhere. So
That was from the guy from Tennessee back in the day.
I think that one, yeah, I think that particular piece did come from him. So what I've got here is some Sabaku. And, you know, you can turn these end grain or side grain. That particular one is end grain, obviously. The one I'm going to do today is going to be side grain. So, you know, take a hunk of wood, fairly dry, you know, because it's a swivel lid. We're not worried too much about the lid fitting, obviously, like a regular box. So it doesn't need to be super, super dry, but, you know, it would help. So just, you know, take a hunk of wood and lay it out and cut it out on the bandsaw. If you got a bandsaw, if you don't, then you just have to, you know, worry about knocking all that stuff off on the lathe. So first thing I'm going to do is put it between centers. And as most of you know, I've got a center, a 4-prong drive center spring-loaded pin that fits in my one-way chuck. This is made by One Way. You've seen me use it before. And let me get a rag to cover up the keyboard on the laptop. Okay. So we'll put this between centers. That looks pretty good there. That's one nice thing about having a spring-loaded pin is you can put a piece on there and lightly put pressure with a tailstock and spin it to see how true it's spinning, which that looks pretty good. So. Bring this on up. Got my glasses on. I'm just going to take a little spindle roughing gouge and make this thing round. This is how you put it in the proper direction. I'm running this thing about 1,500 right now. Yeah, we gotta go take it way down. I got a saw cut right there. So let me knock her down. Okay, so because it's side grain, we've got a little bit of tear out. So change the angle of the tool. Still got that notch in it too. A little bit more. All right, we're good there. So you want to get this leveled out nice. Or a little off. Let me take a little more off of this end. Of course, whatever shape you want, you can make these straight sided. You can, put shape to them. Normally you would shape them, I think, a little bit after you get them parted off. And So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna put a tenon on one end. And I'm gonna use a parting tool to do that. I'm gonna clean off the other end. Take a real light pass, get it square. Then I'm gonna get a little tenon on this end. Okay. Well, that could have been a little smaller, but it'll be all right for what we're doing. Not ideal to have these jaws that far apart, but with a little piece like this, it's not going to hurt anything. So what we'll do now is we're going to clean this other end. Well, actually, we don't need to. We're going to drill a hole in there. So I'm going to take a 2 1/8, I think this is. Yeah. 2 1/8 Forstner bit. Make a little recess, mortise, whatever you want to call it. Just enough to grab it. And of course, when you're drilling, you want to turn your speed way down. Go a little more than that. About 1/4 of an inch deep. And get your drill out of the tailstock. As I've reminded you and Igor's reminded us last time, you know, you put that drill in your elbow, it's no fun. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean out the bottom a little bit because, of course, with the Forstner bit, you've got that dimple in there for the center point of the bit. So I'm going to clean that up, make a bottom whatever decoration you want to put on the bottom, because this is going to be the finished bottom. So. Speed back up about 1600. And I'm using a 1/2-inch ball gouge.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Question?
No, Ralph, that was my dad talking to my grandmother.
Oh, okay. What that mute button's for? All right, so just kind of get rid of that dimple, you know, kind of fade it in, blend it in. So now, what you want to do is go ahead and sand that bottom. And I'm going to put a couple of little lines in there. That gives you a place to write your name and the type of wood that it is. A straight line makes it a little easier. I'll put one out here just for fun. Now that tool, you've seen it before. It's a copy of a Drozda whatever the hell she calls it. I can't remember now. I hate it when that happens.
The vortex tool?
That's the one, the vortex tool. That's the one. Thank you. And then if you want, depending on the wood, you can put a decoration in there with the texturing tool. Not sure how it's going to work on side grain, but I'm going to do it anyway. This is a, they call it decorating elf. Got a ball cutter. Got several different cutters that you can order with this tool. More like a teardrop shape, or a, it's all right. It didn't turn out too bad. I don't know if you guys can see it. That little pattern in there.
Ralph,
Yes.
sorry for asking because I'm late, but what are you doing? What are you turning?
Oh. Oh. We're making a box,
Oh, that's great.
a swivel
Okay.
top box.
Great. Oh, that's nice. Thank you. Sorry for interrupting.
It's okay. You get my wake up call?
Yes, I did. Sorry. And
So, all right. So
Thank
now
you.
we'll, put some finish on there. Because this is going to be your finished bottom. This is just one way to do it. Some people make these, they put a tenon on the bottom, and then once they get the box part hollowed out, then they go back and turn it around and cut the tenon off and finish the bottom. But I found that this kind of saves you a couple of steps. And with the right jaws, you're really not going to mark the interior of this thing up when you rechuck it, cut the top and everything. So now we'll turn this around. Snug it up. You don't want to, obviously, don't want to kill it. And depending on if you got side grain, put too much pressure on it. And depending on how much wall thickness you have, you can pop it apart, of course. So I'll bring the tailstock back up. And I'm going to reduce this tenon a bit because it is a bit too big. I know a lot of people make gauges to slip over the tenon that are set for their chuck jaws. I've found that with the chucks that I've got with the standard jaws, the number 2 jaws on these one ways, that if I make the tenon a little bit bigger than the diameter of the this particular one way or Powermatic Live Center, that I'm pretty much on the money as far as the size of the tenon. So now what we'll do is a little bit of sanding. Move your tool rest out of the way when you sand, of course. We've got a little bit of a whoop-de-doo there. You guys probably can't see it. on. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start parting off the lid. So visually, about something like this, I'd say about a, I don't know, about a quarter of the full length. Looks good to me. So probably right about there. Which actually may be about a fifth, actually. Hard to say. I'm not going to measure. Doesn't matter. Just do it. So I'm going to take my ultra thin parting tool, which is a sawzall blade with the teeth ground off and ground to that shape on the front. And actually, you guys for years have seen me use these with no handles, but I finally made a handle for it. So come in. All right. So that gives us a good place to start. Get your tool rest out of the way. And then we're going to finish this with a real thin pull saw, Japanese style pull saw. But I almost really screwed up good here. So let's stop and go back, because what we need to do is we need to locate where the hinge pin and the magnet are going to go. So some people do these, I guess, by carefully laying out. And I think, as Ozzy mentioned at the last meeting, he used some transfer points, but I found it's easier just to drill straight through the top all the way down. So I'm going to take this off. I'm going to leave it in the chuck. And take it over to the drill press and drill a couple of 16th inch holes in the lid. But before I do that, ahead of myself here, I need a straight line across the top. So I'm going to take my tool rest and put it hopefully on center or pretty damn close. And take a pencil and strike a line. I can see I'm off center. And then rotate this 180 degrees. Do the same thing. And then you can either move your tool rest I got this thing all screwed up now. So I'm going to go over here. I'm gonna do this. We're gonna do this. And then we're gonna go back like that. And we're good. Okay, so there we go. So then I'm gonna come in about 1/4 of an inch, maybe a hair more. Put a line. And now we're gonna go over and drill the holes. Now that we know where we're gonna drill them. Just to make it a little easier, I'm gonna go ahead and put a center punch mark on these holes. That way the drill can't walk on me. I'll be right back. Okay. Now cut it off. Now that we've got these holes, they're drilled all the way through the lid and into the actual body of the box. Be very careful drilling them that you don't get the drill stuck in there and break the drill bit off, since it's only a little bitty 16th inch drill bit. Oh, there we go. So I'll take a pencil Just kind of mark those holes. So I can see them. And then we can come back. We can start our recess with the drill again if we want. Yeah, it'll give us enough room. I'll make sure that you don't do like I did on the other one and make the recess too big and get into your holes where your magnet's going to go. Okay. All right. So now we're
Ralph,
going to do, yes,
take the drill bit out of the tailstock.
it is. It's already out.
Oh, good move.
Thank you. I automatically do that. Even though it takes time, I just thought it's something I automatically do.
Yeah, it only usually takes 100 times in your elbow to learn that.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to hollow this out now because, you know, depending on what you're using this for, you know, they call this a salt box. So you're going to be pinching salt out of it. So you want the bottom to be round, a hemisphere, not, you know, not square and flat like a regular box. I think you can see. But this is just dished out. I don't want to be too deep. We're not concerned with the weight of the box. So we'll get the bowl gouge again, and we'll just kind of make a hemisphere here in the bottom. Clear my chips so I can see what I'm doing. A little more. A little bit more. Move that out a little bit. Okay. A little round nose scraper and clean that up just a hair. Raise up the tool rest a little bit. So now we'll sand this. Surface on. Sand up the inside. I'm just hitting this with some 220. You can go higher if you want. So we've got some scratch marks here from the saw. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a real light pass across there. You also want to make sure that this is flat or slightly in. A little more. Yeah, it looks much better. Take your tool rest, put it up there, and see how flat you are. So, you know, you don't want the inside sticking out further than the outside edge, or else you're going to have a gap where the lid goes. So, do a little more sanding. Turn down my speed a little bit. Go ahead and sand the outside. I gotta get this fan. Finish on. I'm using Howard's bead and wax. Or you can use the butcher block stuff. I'm putting it on with a Scotch Brite, green Scotch Brite. Varnish it in. You can use, you know, mineral oil and beeswax, red lead paint. Let that spin a minute. And then buff off. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to take this over to the drill press and drill our holes for the hinge pin and the magnet. So let me relocate this camera while this is drying. Buff this off. Okay. So I'm going to switch to a 3/32 drill bit because that's the size pins that I've got. You can use, you can go bigger. The reason I went with 332 is because that's the size brazing rods that I have in stock in my shop. So, don't do that at home. So that's done. Now we're going to take a 1/4 inch brad point bit because that's the size magnets that I got, 1/4 inch. I'm going to go to the other side. Very carefully. I got 1/4 by, trying to think what size did I get? 1/4 by 1/4 or 1/4 by 1/8? Oh, I put them. Like about 1/4 by 3/16. So very carefully. You don't want to get this too deep like I did on the other one. That'll do it right there. Okay. Do a little test bit. Grab a magnet here.
We lost you, Ralph.
What's that?
We lost you.
Lost me where?
We don't see you on the picture.
Well, I know, that's why I'm over on the other side of the shop right now.
Okay, we'll stay here then. Okay.
You stay there and I'll stay here and then I'll move the camera.
Okay.
You see me again?
You see the camera blank, the camera clamp.
There we go. So. You can see that magnet sitting in there and it's just below the surface. Okay. So I gotta sit a minute. Oh. These are obviously they're all stuck together. Magnets that I got. So now go ahead and glue this in. So what I got two magnets on a piece of this tape, one on each side, obviously. So what I'm going to do is I want to mark the mark it with a marker. This is only so I don't forget what I'm doing. Okay. The magnet that's on the side of the tape with no stick to it, that's the one that gets glued into here. Okay. So take a dab of super glue. Too much. I'm gonna wick some of that out of there. I got a little too much in there. Okay. Now I'm gonna take that one that's not on the sticky side. I'm gonna stick it in there like that. And then slide the tape off, and that way the one that's still stuck to the other side of the tape. See, it's still stuck on there. So I can do the other side on the lid. So, set this aside. Out of the way. I'm going to grab another chuck. Obviously, if you don't have multiple chucks, then you have to take that off and use that chuck. So now I'm going to put this in here. We'll put another recess on the inside of the lid. That looks good. Yeah, a hair more. I still got to clean up the face of this. All right. Roll that out. And again, clean up that inside. little bit more. A little scrape across there with the side of your bowl gouge. There more. All right, flat, check that, nice and flat. Sanding. Now, obviously, for demonstration, I'm not doing a lot of sanding. You know, you can sand these down to whatever you want. A little decoration if you want. I left a little bit of a line there. You can see, I don't know if you can see it. With the bowl gouge, just put a couple of little ones in there. Just for fun. Touch it with paper. But now the inside's finished. Inside of the lid. Flip her around.
Ralph?
Yeah.
Question, don't you want to drill the inside? Or are you going to wait and turn it and hold it on the chuck the other way?
That'd probably be a good idea. Thanks. Getting way ahead of myself here today. So let me throw that back on there, make sure it's true, fairly true. And kind of messed up when I started drilling the top holes. My eyes were not behaving. So I got one hole, if you can see it. Right there. There's actually two holes, but only one of them goes all the way through. Obviously, that's the one for the magnet. So So I'm gonna go to drill press. I'm not taking the camera with me this time. Glad you were paying attention, Dave.
My pleasure.
So now for the magnet, I did not drill that hole all the way through. I just drilled it enough for the magnet. And when we get around to the other side, you'll see why. So now we're going to finish the top of the top. Got my tool rest in here. Okay. So now what we're going to do, we're gonna, should have done this when I put this on, is lined up the hole for the hinge. Should have lined that up with a slot in the jaws. So I'm going to fudge it over a little bit now. Okay. So now we'll go back over and we're going to, where the magnet is, we're going to drill another 1/4-inch hole. Obviously not all, neither one of these go all the way through. Now we've got a hole there. So what we need to do now, make a plug for that hole. And I would normally make that out of something black, but I can't find it. I got a tiny little piece of black wood around here somewhere, but I don't know where it is. So I'll use something else. I'll use a piece of maple, which will probably, when I get the finish on, will turn about the same color as the lid as is anyway. So what I've done is I've taken a piece of maple and chucked it up in a smaller chuck. And made a little dowel. And what you can do is use that wrench. Quarter-inch open end wrench for the size of the dowel, the size of your dowel. Just come in with your parting tool. Till the wrench drops over. You got your dowel. So I'll make it a little extra long. That way, I've already got the right size dowel for the next box. If I'm going to do, more than one. And then we'll take a parting tool, a little thin one there, and part that off. Make sure you grab it because you're never going to find it in the shavings on the floor. It ain't that big enough. Put a drop of glue in there. Shot of activator.
Did you drill the hinge hole all the way through? Enlarge it?
Yeah, the hinge
Did you enlarge and drill the hinge hole all the way through?
I don't know if I did or not. Probably not. Doesn't look like it. So we'll go back over there and make sure that that's drilled all the way through. I thought I did. Yeah, I did. Let me check. Yes, I did. I did drill it all the way through to the right side. Thank you. So throw this back up on here. And I could have made that dowel a hair longer, but it's all right. We'll just trim some off until everything's flush. So clean that up. Yeah, you can see that, right? So now we got to put our hinge in. So what I've done is I've taken a piece of brazing rod and stuck it in my drill to clean it up, shine it up. Okay. And obviously it's way too long. So I'll cut it off. And on the part that's going to go in the box, do a little bit of sanding on the bottom, smooth it out a little bit. Push this through. Oops, I missed. Knock that in there. Almost. Just sticking out a little bit, put a little dab of glue on it. Knock it down to where it's almost flush. The hair sticking out. A little juice on it. Take the scraper just very, very carefully. Let it flush, then go back to sanding. Throw it in reverse just for a second. Finish it on. I gotta put the magnet in the hole in the top. I got that hole just a hair deep. bit of stuff at the bottom. That'll work. Well, let's hope it fits. Uh-oh. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. I glued it and set up and it pulled the other magnet right up with it. Huh. I'll be damned. Pull the magnet out of the top. The glue wasn't set up enough. So that glue that I use, this one here, has been kind of old, so it takes a while for it to set up. So I use some of the fresher stuff here. And again, too much. little too high. Well, there we go. You know what they say? Smash it to fit and paint it to match.
Or use a bigger hammer.
That's right. Oh, shit. Now I got glue smeared all over the place. That's all right. Scared to put it on there in case it pops out again. I'll give it a few minutes. So.
Ralph, do you
Yes.
glue the pin in as well, or is that just free flowing?
I glued the pin in the lid,
Okay, but not in the base.
not in the base. It's a pretty tight fit. You know, there's different ways of doing this. Different people do them different ways, obviously. You know, like I said, a lot of guys will put a tenon on the bottom and do this and then turn it over and cut the tenon off. I just kind of thought, you know, I'm going to save a couple of steps by doing it this way. You know, that's something I picked up from that Glenn Lucas video. You know, where he was doing the platters. So, you know, you've got your platter mounted. You turn the bottom first and put a mortise in there so you can do the top. Well, you know, finish the bottom, make the bottom completely finished, sanded and finished and all, and then just turn it around and chuck it up and do the top. You're done, you know, saving steps. So I figured, you know, I'd apply the same thing to this. You know, like I stated, with that piece of maple and with this Sabaku, that pin, that plug basically disappears. You can see it right there. No, I did not make that mark. That's a bug line in the wood, that black line pointing at it. But, you know, you can see where a piece of black wood would perfect in there. So, you know, if you go on YouTube, there's, I don't know how many, you know, 40, 50, maybe more, maybe less videos of people making these, you know, and doing them, you know, slightly different ways. I saw one where the guy used a threaded bolt and put an insert in the box part. You know, those same type of inserts that I showed you at the last Saturday thing that I used on the donut chuck. So seems like a lot of extra work to me. But well, let's see what happens. Oh, Okay. So. So there you have it. You bring that
Very nice,
around,
Ralph.
it actually does kind of pop shut. I don't know if you can see that.
Mhm.
So that's the deal. You know, the important thing is getting everything lined up. Otherwise, it's not gonna, you know, it's gonna be cockeyed. I know somebody that made one and they tried doing it without drilling through the top for indexing, and it would never sit right. So it's, you know, it's one of those things. I guess if you were super, super careful with your layout and use those transfer pins that I believe Ozzy was talking about, then, you know, that would hopefully eliminate that problem. But, you know, to me, I don't see any objection to having a little brass dot. You know, you can use a little bit larger diameter. This is just because of what I had in stock. If I was going to buy something for this, I'd probably go with 3/16 instead of 532, but, or at least 1/8, maybe 1/8 instead of 532. But, so that's it. You know, obviously put your name and the type of wood on the bottom. That's why I drew those lines. So I can have a place to follow. Otherwise, my writing is as terrible as it is even worse without a line to follow. So, and, you know, you can use it for whatever you want. Decoration, you can put salt in it. You can put spice in it. You can put anything you want in it.
I love it. Very
Great
nice.
job, Ralph. Thanks.
Thank you.
Great job.
So let me
Really
get this
beautiful.
off in a spotlight. And we'll go to all right. I don't know how I'm gonna get out of here. All right, there we go. So, anybody got questions?
No.
Everybody's very quiet this morning.
Yeah.
It was a great demo. We don't have any questions. You did everything perfect.
Well, with a little help from you, keeping me in the proper order. I
Well,
guess I
thank you. This is
Ralph, don't
Jose
have a
Perdomo.
question?
I'm a new member, and Dave just reminded me about the shop, about the video. So, as a new member, lots to learn. I loved it. Thank you all.
Thank you. So, and you know, as you guys know, you'll be getting when I upload this to YouTube, I'll send it out. One of these days, I may cut some of the meeting part out, but I don't know. I'd rather just keep it as it is, as these are official meetings. So we'll see what happens. So
I think it's a great record. So you can go back and look at it again and again.
yes,
New members can look at it, and us old members with no memory can look at it.
right, exactly. And I'm gonna get it I don't know if did I see Jack Sawyer here this morning?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I thought I saw him earlier, but maybe not. I got to talk with him again because I don't think that he's going to be able to get these videos onto the club's YouTube channel. So I'm going to add a link to our website to where when you click on that link, it'll bring up all of these videos from these meetings. And that way, obviously the members can know where to get them anyway. But if anybody anybody just looking on the internet for wood turning, then they'll be able to see them. We do occasionally have some people that, go on the website, obviously, and look us up. I had a gentleman send me an email, because I guess it's been several months now that we put on the website that if anybody, any non-member, obviously, anybody just searching on the internet wanted to watch one of our, be invited to one of our meetings, to contact me by email. And I did get one, and I sent him an invitation for the last meeting and for this morning, but he hadn't showed up. So I don't know what the deal is, but it's there, and hopefully, we can find, new members. So, through the website. So, I guess that's pretty much it. Did I see Mike Chrysler here this morning? I thought I did.
I don't think so, Ralph.
I
Really?
didn't see him.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Somebody signed off earlier.
Yeah, that was Jim Farrington, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, let me see. Yeah, I guess so. So, all right, well, I guess if nobody's got any questions, anybody got comments, anybody got anything they want to discuss, wood turning related?
You mentioned something about eBay. I had one of the members call me up looking for a source of a particular type of wood for a project he was doing because some of the catalog companies didn't have it. And so I started hunting on eBay and found a whole bunch of different sources of block wood for turning. So if you're, he was looking for maple, ash, or something like that. And we found a great deal with free shipping and, fair price. So don't forget to look up eBay if you're looking for a particular oddball wood.
Okay. Oh, did that guy contact you about the union graduate?
Yes, he did. And we sent him the information and never heard back from him. So I guess not. He was looking for a long bed union.
Oh, was he?
So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know exactly what he was looking for, and I didn't know what you had. And but I just it's amazing. He was up in Georgia.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I guess he wasn't looking for what you had. So I don't know how many there are here in the States. I'm sure there's plenty.
Back in the 70s and 80s, they were the top of the line.
Okay. And it wasn't too hard to get them over here, I guess.
I guess not. I mean, it was craft supplies, pretty much a limited, audience and a limited production.
Right. But I mean, I remember when the stubby was the big thing, made in Australia. And now, I don't know if they're even still in business.
I think they are, but the biggest problem is the money transfer or whatever the exchange rate made it so exorbitant for a while.
Well, that plus
bring
shipping.
them over. Yeah.
You know, I mean, the shipping got to be horrendous coming from Australia.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's bad enough the shipping coming on a one-way coming out of Canada. Plus you've got, like you said, you've got the difference in the dollar amounts. So, but, oh, well. So, anything else?
Yep, I've got I don't know if you're gonna do instant gallery. I've got something here.
Well, let's see it.
Okay, well, let's
Ooh.
highlight it. You want to spotlight this, Ralph?
Well, let's see. I think we can do that.
What this is, oh, there I am.
I don't know what happened.
I don't either. We're seeing Mr. Friendly.
Went to the wrong David.
There you
There
go.
we go.
What it was is this is a piece of camphor I had a while ago, and I had a couple grooves turned in it, and I don't know what I was going to do with them. Beads, but they were really made with a skew, so they were square beads. So the last AAW journal, they talked about using the milliput epoxy,
Right.
colored epoxy to fill it in. So I tried some. This is a turquoise, and I think I don't know if it went on pretty easy. It was easy to fill in whatever I missed, versus if in the past, if I had something like this, I'd use epoxy and use powder or use glitter or whatever the case may be. But then you have to keep filling it in. And if I used epoxy, I'd have to keep spinning it on the lathe, a regular epoxy. But with this stuff, you just knead it, and it's feels like putty, like clay putty, and you just put it in, and it says 3 to 4 hours, but I waited overnight. And to turn it and sand it was real easy. And to go back, there was some pits, so I filled those in. It was easy to fill it in, go back and sand it again. But now I'm looking at it close, I see I have some tear out I got to work on. But anyway, so I'd give it a try. I gave it a try, but I don't know if I'd do it again. You know, I don't fill in too many grooves like this. I know David Goldsbein does it a lot, but he spins it, I believe, when he does his mixture.
No, he's doing a whole different process.
Okay.
He's using dams.
That's right. He uses dams in it. You're right.
So, but as far as spinning it, you know, if I do something like that, I wouldn't do groove. I have done a couple, but for filling voids, I use the 5-minute epoxy.
Right. I do too.
And I just kind of smear it in there. But the problem is it runs.
Yes.
So like you were saying, you got to have what you're filling up on top, and then let that dry, and then move over to the next spot. It's a pain in the neck.
That is, yep, takes longer. But this was, you know, all one spot. But I found out too by working with it. Obviously, it wasn't obvious at the time. It was a lot easier working with smaller pieces. I cut off like a 1/2-inch piece of each type. There's like a turquoise color and another darker color. It looked like darker blue. You mix those together and it turns turquoise, and you know it's done. Then you knead it like you would dough to like a string. And it was just harder to work with the bigger pieces. The smaller pieces were just, it seemed easier to less than a 1/2 inch to work with, to put it in. You couldn't tell that they're smaller pieces versus a longer piece.
They get a hammer, smash it in there.
There you go. But that's it. And then also I had a little tear out in the center. And so I filled it just to see what it would look like. I think it looks like you can't really see. It looks like a fish.
Yeah.
It looks like a fish in there.
Oh yeah.
This way it looks like Elvis. No, that's all.
Hey. A fish.
Yep.
I think you're fishing for votes.
There you go. You're right. That's it. That was it.
That's it. Okay.
There's others that, you know, when this pandemic started, I must have turned 5, 6 bowls, and now I'm just getting around to finishing them.
Yeah, finishing them was a pain. I hate it.
Yeah, it's especially if you wait that long and you have that many.
Yeah. I'd rather make bowls than finish bowls.
Yep. So then I stop and I turn another bowl, and then there's something, you know, go back to pens every once in a while, but you know.
Well, that's one of the cool things about little projects like we did today is that, you know, you can finish a project in a couple of hours.
Right.
So,
Yeah, it's like one thing when I did work, I remember that when I'm sure all of you, when you work there, it'd give you more than one thing to do. And, it got to a point, sometimes you're overwhelmed. So the manager would come up to me and say, well, just pick one that you can get done right away. So you get some gratification, and then go on to back to the bigger ones.
yeah.
Turn a little something to get that instant gratification, or quicker, and then go back to the one that's taking a little longer.
An idea with that in mind is having a 5-minute project, 10-minute project, and you use that as a warm-up. And if you make like eggs, if you turn eggs, and it takes 10 or 15, 20 minutes once you get set up, you can go out there, and even if on the day you can't finish something, you can rough out an egg, throw it in your pile, and finish it up another time.
That's true. That's a good point.
Speaking of eggs, I gotta find them. I don't know where I put them. For those of you that were at the last meeting with that
Oh, Craft Supply, by the way,
that
has a
thing.
new video on eggs. Oh,
I
that's
made,
that project.
yeah, that was that project with the balls. I don't even know where I put the damn thing. I made 4 balls, and I figured out what, after some suggestions from some of the guys last meeting. I just happened to see this wedge piece of material sitting around, and I figured, that's perfect. What I'll do is I'm going to drill a hole in here for the tenon that's on there, and that way it'll go in and sit at the angle that I want, and then I can just come in and drill it. And what I did is I put my layout lines, I don't know if you can see them, around there. So that's something I got to finish this weekend for the customer, and then see where we go from there. So, and I chose the wrong wood only because I had it, and it's like, well, this is just perfect. It's only, I say the wrong wood only because it's hard to work with, was that hunk of kumaru. Yeah, you got rid of yours. You passed it off to me.
I still have some, but it's.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I don't know if any of you other guys work with it.
It splinters real easy. I mean.
Yeah, it chips. It's hard on the tools.
But it looks nice, but it's not.
Yeah, it looks nice when it's finished. But
yep, it's too chippy.
yeah, it's just hard to work with. You got to
Hey
sharpen a lot.
guys, I've got to sign out, but thank you. That was a wonderful demo and great to see everybody.
Yep.
See ya.
Good to be seen.
Yeah,
Have a good day, David.
it's good to
Take
be
care.
seen as long as you're not seen in the Capitol.
Well,
Bye, David.
just remember, it's always better to be seen than viewed.
Been viewed? Yeah, okay.
Have a great one, guys. Bye-bye.
Well, when they're viewing you, you don't really care anyway.
Exactly.
Or, well, we don't know, but anyway, all right, we'll see you.
All right, bye.
So, all right, well, anybody got anything else?
Nope.
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 Okay, well then I'm gonna end this meeting, and
All right.
you'll have the link to the video later today, hopefully, and I'll throw a link up there to YouTube So you can see 40,000 different ways to do this. And I may throw in a bonus YouTube today.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay,
Okay.
thanks.
Huh?
See you
All right.
later.
Thanks, Ralph.
All right, we'll see
Thank
you all at
you.
the next meeting.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
Ralph. Thank you.
Bye all.
Bye.